Welcome to today's episode. Today is 11th of November 2018 and we are going to talk about a taboo subject, a subject which is stigmatized. People don't talk about it here in Kenya or in Africa and in many other parts of the world. So the topic today is about teen sex or teens having sex. This is something which has been exposed in this country, especially in Kenya, during the examination period for the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education and for the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. We saw reports in the media that a number of teenage girls had given birth and their exams were taken to the hospitals for them to undertake that examination. So this was just, it just happened that there was a national examination and the cases which are happening on the ground were exposed and reported. So the entire world came to know about these teenagers having sex, and it is a problem all over the world. So it is better we address it now. At least 13,000 teenage girls between the age of 10 and 19, or approximately 14,000, were reported to have given birth in the county of Kilifi, or in Kilifi County. So you can imagine the magnitude of this problem. The world is too scared. The world is too scared, very scared, to talk about children between the age of 10 and 19 having sex. The young people are losing their lives due to pregnancy or early pregnancy. Their bodies are not ready for giving birth because they are too young. And these attitudes are all over the world. They are here in Kenya. We don't want to talk about teenager sex or teenagers having sex. It is the same case in the United States. It is the same case in the United Kingdom. It is the same case in many parts of the African continent, including in Nigeria, South Africa, Malawi, Tanzania. In fact, in Tanzania, a teenager girl becomes pregnant. She is expelled from school. She can't come back to school. That's according to Magufuli. Now, parents, it is your duty to talk to your children about sex. Don't let maybe teachers, you would say teachers will teach them. They are not teaching them. So it is upon parents to take the responsibility and talk to their girls, or talk to your children, talk to your girls about sex. And be very frank about it. Say the truth. And if your children are already having sex, it would be better that they are assisted earlier on. Even nurses at our hospitals, they are not giving contraceptives to teenage girls between the age of 10 and 19 because they believe, according to Jennifer Reddy, who wrote a very interesting article in The Guardian, she says that the nurses do not give contraceptives to teenage girls because they think that the girls are too young to have sex. So now it is clear that girls do have sex, and it is now upon us to see what we can do about it. Our teenage boys and girls do have sex. That is clear. At least for girls, now we can tell because they become pregnant. Is upon us as parents, as policymakers, and as everyone else, even teachers, to seek for a solution. Our children need comprehensive sex education classes. And for the leaders, what can you do? Number one, you should support programs that increase youth access to contraception. Those programs which we are not putting money, we should have clear budget lines for the youths, for the teens who do have sex. There should be a way for them to access contraception or contraceptives. Let us not bury our heads in the sand like the proverbial ostrich and just assume that the kids will abstain. They won't. Number 2, let us not slash funding for reproductive health like Donald Trump did earlier the year 2018, around February. He had cut the budget for reproductive health for women. So it was a big minus. It was a big burden on women now, because they could not access contraceptives because the budget for the United States had been cut. The case is nearly similar here in Kenya and many parts of the developing world, because the budget lines are not clear. There are no clear budget lines for provision of contraceptives for teenage girls and young women. In fact, when that budget line is there, it is too small. For example, Nairobi County was thinking about giving 2 million shillings for distribution of condoms and sex education for teenagers. 2 million shillings when the majority of the population of Nairobians is made up of youths. That is the people below the age of 35. There are so many young people around in the city. So the budget should be sufficient to provide enough contraceptives for our kids. That is my argument. Another thing, Jennifer Amadi on 9th wrote an article on the Guardian newspaper, which is a UK newspaper, that, and I quote, there are 1.2 billion people in the world between the age of 10 and 19 years, and most live in developing countries. So we have a huge population. We have a population of 1.2 billion people all over the world who needs reproductive health education, who needs contraceptives, because they are in danger of becoming pregnant. And that will affect our economy, whether it's in Kenya, it's in the United States, whether it is in the United Kingdom, whether it is in Australia. Our economies would be much better if we provide the reproductive that is contraceptives to our children between the age of 10 and 19, so that they don't become martyrs before they are ready for it. That is important if we want our economies to grow. And I will give you statistics towards the tail end of this episode. Teen pregnancy has a lasting impact on a country's economy. Teen pregnancy has a lasting impact on a country's economy. And that is one of the major reasons why we should put aside money. We should have budget lines, clear budget lines for provision of contraceptives for our children between the age of 10 and 19. Whether we like it or not, whether we want to hear this or we don't want, the fact is these children, teenagers, are having sex. And the solution, as the United Kingdom discovered, is to allocate a budget for their sex education. Provide sex education in primary schools, in secondary schools, and at universities, because some kids who go to university for first year and second year, they are still teenagers. They are aged 17 or 18 and 19 years. They need to know about sex. They need to know how to engage in safe sex so that they can be able to be protected and to be able to lead a good life. I want to quote what Jennifer Amadi wrote in the Guardian newspaper. I quote, if all 200,000 adolescent martyrs in Kenya completed secondary school and were employed instead of having children earlier, Kenya's GDP, or gross domestic product, could grow by $3.4 billion. $3.4 billion, an equivalent of 340 billion Kenyan shillings. This is nearly the same amount as what was sent to the counties. Actually, it is more than what was sent to the counties in 2017-2018, which was 302 billion Kenyan shillings. Now, this is 340 billion Kenyan shillings, an amount equivalent to Kenyan construction sector. End of quote by Jennifer Amadi. So you can see the impact we can have if we allocate enough resources towards sex education in our schooling system in Kenya, and also provide free or affordable contraceptives to these children between the age of 10 and 19, we will save the economy. We will spur economic growth. Because if, according to Jennifer Amadi, if all 200,000 adolescent mothers in Kenya completed secondary school and were employed instead of having children earlier, Kenya's GDP could grow by $3.4 billion, which is equivalent to 340 billion Kenyan shillings, an amount equivalent to Kenyan construction sector. Ile mjengo yote unaona Kenya ikiwekwa pamoja for a whole year inatoshana na ile pesa ambayo watoto 1,200 ambao wako na watoto wamezaa, ni wamama ambao wamezaa. These are adolescent matters. Mtu ako 15 years ako na mtoto, ako 18 years ako na mtoto. Kama hao wote wangekuwa wanafanya kazi, wamesoma vizuri, wafanye kazi, our economy will had 340 billion Kenyan shillings or 3.4 billion US dollars. That is the impact. That is what we are talking about. Let us start talking about teenagers having sex and how we can deal with that so that they don't become adolescent matters. No, we have to do something. Our policymakers who are listening to this video, do something. Put money in the budget. Make sure there is money in the budget. Make sure there is sufficient contraceptives for our girls who are aged between 10 and 19 years. That way, we will save the economy of this country. We probably could not want to borrow the Eurobond because 340 billion is a lot of money. This is enough to repay the Eurobond once and for all. In 1 year, we pay 1 Eurobond because Eurobond was 250 billion Kenyan shillings. And this is 340 billion, my good rod. So we would have change. We will pay 1 Eurobond and still have a lot of change to do several other things. That is something we will do. So my call to action from this video episode, let us use public funds to support reproductive health programs that meet the needs of young women. Such things as reproductive health education. Let us invest on delivering high quality counseling to teenagers. Let us tell them to wait. If they can't wait, let us tell them to use contraceptives in an open manner. Let us not make this a taboo subject. We should be discussing even at home. The mothers and fathers should be talking to their teenage girls and teenage boys. Tell them the benefits of using contraceptives so that they don't become adolescent mothers or adolescent fathers in that case. Let us not make it a stigma. Let us remove all stigma around teenage having sex. Let us talk openly. 20 years ago, the United Kingdom invested on these things we have been discussing, on investing on teenage sex education, teenage contraceptives, and everything else. And teenage pregnancies dropped by 50%. I think up to that point, you already have an answer. We don't have to go far. Let us just put public resources into the system and have clear budget lines and implement them to the rather. Because we can have that money in the budget line, but it is not spent. That way we will not achieve much. Up to that point, thank you for watching this video. And if you have another alternative through which Kenya can reduce these teenage pregnancies and adolescent matters, how can we reduce the number of girls who give birth before they are 19 or before they get to 20 years? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you very much. See you next time on the internet.